Minecraft can be very satisfying. I mean, imagine going on a mining and finding diamonds. Oh, I'd forget about that. Let's just go out and build a comfy little house. Oh, Minecraft isn't that satisfying after all, right? And this is why I brought you the best, most satisfying mods in the game. Anyways, without any further ado, let's dive into the video. The first mod on the list is of course the physics mod. What made this mod very popular and also very satisfying is the amount of realistic visuals included with it. Every part of the game is now enhanced and gratifying to see. Next up is Train Guy's Animation Overhaul mod. This mod wholly improved the game's animation, and the author has followed the path of simplicity, since the movements aren't very realistic but look unique and deliciously appealing. Speaking of the animations, we also have the fresh animations. And I know, this is a resource pack, not a mod. Clickbait! No, listen. No mod does improve the mob's animation better than this pack, so I couldn't just leave this part of the game empty. Hope you understand it, boys. Next mod is Water Physics Overhaul, and this one here works on advancing the game's water mechanics. And the reason I include it here is that I love making these small goofy water pipes contraptions and observing the beauty of physics. Man, if all the physics were taught like this in school, I wouldn't have to be a YouTuber. Moving forward, we'll be looking at the Create mod. This mod simply implements the Industrial Revolution into the game. The technology here is so advanced that I couldn't even figure out how to create a machine myself, so I had to download this mod instead. Next up is Dynamic Surroundings Remastered. Minecraft sounds are already beautiful and nostalgic, but sometimes they could be inaudible, like here for example. The Dynamic Surroundings Remastered mod fixes that by adding lovely ambient sounds that make you slightly float over your desk while playing. Speaking of the ambient sounds, the Presence Footsteps mod further enhances sounds by making your footsteps audible. Also, the footsteps differentiate between various blocks. And another sound mod is the Auditory mod. This mod also stretches the hearing goodness by making the breaking and placing of the blocks as well as using some tools audibly stimulation. To the last sounds mod on the list, we've got the Extra Sound mod. This mod is mainly centered around the inventory. Items inside and outside your inventory will make different tones, and combining the four mods will result in an incredible hearing experience. Following up, we've got the Camera Overhaul mod, which focuses on enhancing the first-person perspective by making the camera jiggle around and giving this dynamic effect to the game. It could be very satisfying, but when maxed out, it can turn into a barrel effect. Opening the inventory while running for your life is risky, since you'll be immobilized. If this is a problem for you, let me introduce InvMob. This mod essentially makes you able to move around and run while accessing your inventory. Well, you will be banned for life if using it in public servers, since you will be literally unstoppable, so keep that in mind, dear player. Minecraft has been and still is a first-person game. Up until now, let me introduce you to Better Third-Person mod. This mod makes the third-person perspective an actual option to swap to. You can make 360 degrees circle around your skin, as well as being able to move the camera freely while running, allowing for an intense flexibility and of course, extreme satisfaction. A mod that fits perfectly with the third-person mod is the Epic Fight mod. This project made the combat movements ridiculously realistic and adds new weapons to further expand the combat field in the game. Next up, we have the Legendary Tool Chips. This mod adds different frames and outlines to certain items, ranking them from the lowest value to the most treasured by giving the rare items a respectable cover. Another scrumptious mod on our list, the Effective mod. It adds a nice cascades around your world that can be heard as well as seen. The mod also includes a lovely splash effect when thrown entering into the water, whether it's an item or a mob. Also, the bigger the object or the entity, the more significant the splash. Minecraft is a very peaceful game, until it's cursed. That's exactly what Diagonal Fences mod does, but it's specialized solely on the fences. You can now make circle shapes with all kinds of fences, rather than you having to fill the corners. They will just connect. Moving forward, we have the Visual Workbench. This mod makes crafting much more unique, as you will be able to see the stuff on your crafting table. Pretty cool feature to have on your game, since crafting can sometimes be plain and boring. but not as boring as going through this anguish. Let's fix this real quick. Immersive Portals mod makes the portals in the game completely transparent and shows the other side through, as well as allowing you to create any shape with the nether portal. It's a very fantastic feature that should have been implemented in the game ages ago. Coming next is the Dropped mod. This one makes the dropped items interact accurately with any surface. When you throw any item, it will bounce around until it loses its momentum. It's a very satisfying mod, especially if you start throwing items on stairs like this. Just so beautiful. Another item mod in the list is the Configurable Items Entities mod. This one allows you to pile up items as if it's a tower building game. Now you can keep piling up items until you reach the ozone layer. Alright, let's get back down to earth now, where trees like these exist. But don't worry, a mod has come to the rescue. It's the Falling Trees mod. This project makes the trees fall entirely by only chopping off one block. Collecting wood will no longer be a hassle anymore. Next up is the Eating Animation mod. As you can see, I have here a variety of good food to test out. And if you look closely, you will notice that the food is being consumed in a unique and lifelike manner. Approaching the end, we've got the Smooth Swapping mod. This one over here makes swapping items from your inventory to any storage source much smoother by adding a slight flickering effect when moving items. Last but not least, Sodium mod. What's more satisfying than seeing your FPS go from this to this? Surely makes my blood cool. And there's a reason I spent a fortune on this big boy over here. This mod is much better than Optifine when it comes to the performance. Only it lacks the option to add shaders. That's why I've got the Air Shaders mod. That way you can enjoy playing shaders comfortably with no lag.